At Kirkridge, we have a model called pick it and pray, pick it and pray. So action and reflection, both needed. And in the training, we use a popular education process, which is everybody's equal. Everybody has life experience and therefore wisdom, and can share that and find it in each other. We tell lots and lots of stories. We practice skills. We learn how to build community. And we plan projects. And one of the interesting things for me is, as an activist, to learn what we also teach, which is how does social change occur anyway? A great activist named Bill Moyer, not the TV person, but a Quaker sociologist, laid out in the movement action plan that he created 8 stages about how social change occurs and how it starts with just a few people. Just a few people. We often look at social change just at the end and wonder, how could we get there? But if we start and look at the beginning and we see just a few people, like the way this pilgrimage began, just a few people. And then it's more people, and our job in social change is not to rail against the people in power and spend all our time and energy on that. It's to talk to the person next to us in the pew, the person who's the cashier at the grocery store. It's to build the movement with ordinary people. And to remember 2 other things that Bill Moyer says is that people can play all kinds of roles. I've been arrested many times. But that's not the height of peace activism. There are lots of ways to be a peace activist. Walking, petitioning, videotaping, web reports, all kinds of things people can do. And there's no hierarchy. We need everybody. The other thing Bill Moyer says that I really like is, for goodness sakes, celebrate. He said, I write this model, this movement action plan, because I'm sick and tired of peace and justice people wallowing in despair. Celebrate. We're making successes. We're taking steps. We're taking risks. And we're planting seeds. So let's celebrate. My signature piece in the Creating a Culture of Peace training program is the 2 hands. And some of you have heard this before. But Gandhi talked about 2 types of active nonviolence, which we sometimes forget. One type is resistance and protest against injustice and violence. But the other type is constructing the culture that we want. Not bandaging the status quo and the acts of compassion, even though they're valuable. Constructing the new culture. And Gandhi said, most of our time should be spent that way. A little bit in protest. That's instructive to me and validates a lot of the constructive work people are doing. Barbara Deming, the feminist nonviolent activist, said that she thought of that as the 2 hands of nonviolence. So I will say this to you. No to violence and dehumanizing and destroying. I say no, no, no. And I will protest. I will resist. I will interfere. This is the hand that protests and protects. Yet with the other hand, I will reach out. And I will call on myself to be vulnerable, to listen to you, to work with you. I call on you to do the same, to listen to me, to be vulnerable. It's scary because we may have to change But this is the hand that can build a new relationship, something constructive, the culture we want, and promises even the possibility of reconciliation. And I need both in personal interactions and in social group interactions. The two hands of nonviolence. So important. So the Creating a Culture of Peace training program is working with military veterans, many of whom have become trainers now, peace groups, schools, colleges, seminaries, environmental groups, immigrants groups. And they make plans. Every time there's a training across the country, they make project plans. And they're very funny to me because they're across the board. Some of them are about, we want vegetarian meals in the cafeterias. Some of them are creating peace vigils, food co-ops, dealing with racism in the elementary schools, building a shelter for homeless teenage girls, changing of domestic violence laws in Utah. All kinds of projects. We're located, the national office is at Kirkridge, only a few miles away from here. So I view our journey alone, personally and individually, and as a group, as a journey looking at fear, knowing the pain in our culture, taking the risk to walk beyond that fear. So we walk despite the fears or the alligators around our legs. We step out. We climb out of our boats. We take the risk, get unstuck, break with fixed ideas, challenge authority, leave the familiar. And along the way we have new experiences and we meet new people. We build skills. There will be detours and obstacles and falling down. There will be beauty but also ugliness along the way. We will find out that we're not really in control. And sometimes we don't know what our next steps are and where we're going to end up in this journey if we really take risks. But we will be empowered. We will learn confidence. We will walk toward hope and new life and personal transformation. We are witnesses and signs of peace, not those metal signs that come down on people's heads. But we embody peace. We are trying to be peace as individuals and as groups. Thank you.